I talked a while ago about how to get used to your drawing tablets, but I realized I should do the same for screen tablets. While it may seem ironic, I actually found these harder to get used to. Whether you're moving over from a pen tablet or traditional, or this is your start into getting into art, these tips will help you adapt to your screen tablet and start drawing more naturally. If you want to improve your art for free, join the Learning to Draw Discord server. This weekend we'll be doing a special online drawing event where a random person who joins will win $50 USD. First of all, I want to make it clear that, despite being more expensive and more similar to traditional art, screen tablets are not necessarily better than a pen tablet. In fact, in a lot of ways they can actually be considered worse, which is something I'll get more into in a minute. Don't worry too much though. I really struggled when I switched from pen tablets to the relatively cheap Gaomon PD 1560, and I was a little bit scared at first that I'd wasted my money. But I learned to love screen tablets despite their flaws, and now I'd probably never go back. Unlike with a pen tablet which can easily be moved, you'll have to consider your entire setup here. These things are bigger and heavier, and having to readjust your entire desk every time you want to draw isn't ideal. A pen tablet is more or less equivalent to a mouse, but a display tablet is more similar to an entire monitor, so I'd advise making space to treat it as such. Like most people, I originally moved my keyboard out the way to place my screen tablet in front of my monitors, but this can get really cramped and annoying over time. Now I use a Beckant IKEA desk for my main monitors where I edit, record, watch movies, play games, and basically spend half my miserable life. And then I have an IKEA Mickey desk. This is where my screen tablet lives, and where I spend the other 50% of my life. I find this works really well to allow me to do all the creative stuff I want, with the desk space aiding me to be more productive rather than hindering me. Now, I understand furniture is expensive and space is also a limitation, but if you can make it work, I'd highly advise something along these lines, speaking from experience. If it comes to it, sometimes you have to have a kind of jank setup to do what you gotta do, you know? But the main point is making space for these will really help you out. As a slight addition to that point that's a little boring, so I won't spend too much time on it, make sure you're sitting properly when using these. They're genuinely kind of dangerous for your spine if you're not careful. Another screen-specific problem you might not see coming is how crucially important the tilt angle is. If there's one point you take away from this video, make it this one. I had pain in my wrists for months that forced me to always either be in pain when I draw, or take breaks to let my hands recover that never actually helped. As soon as I draw, the pain would always come back, and I had no idea why. Then I just kinda... and then the problem was immediately fixed. The tablet can change angle for a reason. Make sure your hands are comfortable, and if you have any pain that might not even seem related, this might be the cause. Make sure you also use your little artist glove, mine is kind of falling apart, with your screen tablet. In my experience, it's not often needed with a pen tablet, but screen tablets tend to create more friction with your skin. They also produce heat, which could cause your hands to sweat and then start sticking to the screen. It depends on where you live though. Living in a relatively cold country, this hasn't been a big problem for me, but if it does happen and you try to avoid the friction by not resting your hand on the screen, this could cause damage to your wrist over time. So as for actually getting used to drawing on the tablet itself, drawing is hard and adapting to new tools is hard. If you're really struggling to adjust, I would advise removing one of those obstacles, allowing you to focus on one at a time. In this case, learning to use the tablet without trying to draw. There are some pretty simple ways to do this. You can simply use it as a mouse pointer for your computer for one. This is a really good passive way to build new muscle memory. You can also gamify the process with something like OS. This game is a little better suited for pen tablets in my opinion, but it's still a great way to get used to using a pen on a screen. And don't forget, drawing doesn't have to be serious. The best way to adapt without getting too stressed and frustrated is to still use the programs you intend to use, but without any specific goals. Just mess around and make ugly doodles. You're still learning a new skill regardless of how the art itself looks, so that's what's important. I'd also like to point out, if you have any shortcut keys on your tablet, set them up sooner rather than later. As I mentioned before, screen tablets require a lot of space, and it's possible you won't have a comfortable setup with your keyboard easily accessible. If this does happen, you want to adapt to using your shortcut keys pretty quickly, so you can start using them intuitively and focusing on drawing. Here's the shortcuts I use for reference, but do what's best for you. I use a Kamvas Pro 22, which has these touch sliders that I use to change the size of the pen. I just really love this, it works really well. You'll notice the little notes I've stuck to the tablet. Most of these just fall off, so this specifically isn't a great system, but don't be afraid to customize your tools. I mean, if you intend to sell it down the line, maybe you should keep it as much in the original condition as possible, but if you plan on this being your tablet that you use to create art for years to come, it's your tool to do whatever you want with. There's no rules here. Do whatever you think will create a better system for you. People always ask me which tablets they should buy, so I'll quickly give you all the first-hand information I have for screen tablets. I originally used a Gaomon PD1560, which was good for the price, though I wouldn't recommend it at this point because it's a bit too small for me personally, and the pen has to be recharged, which is kind of outdated tech at this point. I now use a Kamvas Pro 22 as mentioned, and I've had it for about 3 years with no issues. This might also be considered a little bit outdated by now since it's 1080p and doesn't have any crazy new features, but personally I love it and would recommend it. I'll put a link in the description to my exact tablet if you're interested. I also used a UG U1200 which I was sent for free at one point. I made a whole review for both the Kamvas Pro and for the UG tablet, so I'll leave links for these in the description if you're interested. Don't forget to join the Learning to Draw Discord server. Again, I'm hosting a special event this weekend to celebrate 5,000 members, where a random person will win $50 USD just for drawing on an online canvas. It's not a popularity contest or a skill contest, you just have to join with the link in the server, draw something with your name so I know who you are, and then you'll automatically be entered to win. We've got a lot of other things coming up on that server soon to help you improve your art. I also have a video for specifically helping you adjust to your pen tablet if you want to check that out. And that's about it for now. Thank you for watching and goodbye.